And welcome to my channel. This is your friendly little host. Now, I've had quite a few requests about an FPS kit from you guys, and well, I started designing one and things, and I'm like, this would be a good time to show what I have again since my unfortunate crash. Silly hard drives. But this would I just imported a project brand new, and I got a few prototype if Unity wants to act like a reasonable human being. Okay, there we go. I just got a regular scene, floor, prototype texture, just for reflection. And then we got our little guns here, which you're not going to be able to see this one. How unfortunate and ridiculous. Oh, okay, because it's underneath the floor, which is really weird because later on it's some other place. But anyway, we have our little directional light things. It doesn't really matter where it is in the scene. It all depends on the rotation and stuff, which way it's facing, things like that for your bounce and all that. But when you're doing stuff in an editor and everything else like we are, take and turn this auto rebuild light map stuff, turn it off. It's annoying. And two, you don't need that. You don't care about the lighting yet anyway because you're just prototyping. You need to get stuff working. So you need to get stuff to work, not have all this other just stuff running in the background. You got your good old frame rate counter, which was provided to us free by Unity grads, and you had to play with them. These are the values right here that you can pause for, and these will be provided in the kit anyway because it was free to me, and I don't think they're really actually going to care because they gave it away, but it is their script. So this is another little free gun that was on the store page. Not too hard to find that one. Just trust me, you'll find it. You go looking for models. Then we have one down here, which I just took some arm mesh and stuck a gun that was on the store for nothing. And that's basically it. It doesn't have any material or nothing, but it's rigged. So, and like I said, you need prototyping. So this is all going to be placeholder stuff anyway, unless you want to use it, which I believe you're allowed to commercially do that one. This one, you're going to have to texture it and everything else, so you'll end up wasting more time probably. Or just fix it up for your own. I don't care. And this is a free gun that was on the store anyway, so you're probably going to use that. Now, on to our ground. I just used a quad or a plane or whatever. Here's the values. Simple. Nothing too big, and then just a floppy little texture, and that's it. Now, here's our controller. I am using a character controller, which if you're not used to it and everything else, it's very tight. Now, before we get to these and stuff, you still got your rigid body, which this is basically the controller Unity got for an FPS controller anyway. I just modded it. Now, this would be your camera, your regular camera. Now, it's important for you to realize this script will go over, but the thing about it is this calling mask. Now, I don't think we really discussed it. All these checks are the things that it can actually render in the scene. If you have things like UI, this, default, they're like layers. Think of it as like Photoshop layering. You're putting stuff on top of stuff. Okay, and you see how this gun view right here is unchecked? Well, this is the reason because I want this to only render Now, you can't stick two cameras on the same game object. Like right here, go camera, then another camera. Can't do it. You actually have to make another child game object and put another camera on that. Now, I have this on depth only because I don't need the solid, clear, or any of that stuff. Depth. So it's mostly for like close-up stuff. I just know how to use it. Then our field of view, and this right here is very important because you need to see how it's disappearing. Well, it's because it's cutting it off. So I just put it all the way down to that for an FPS camera. Now this main camera, yeah, you could probably put this a little bit further away. But the thing about it is if you got a downward view, it's probably gonna, cut off and look all silly. But this is how far it can look. Now, if I go crazy down, just see how the world is starting to go away. That's how far you can see. That's how far the camera is actually calling. I don't really mind it because, I'm going to snipe or whatever. I don't know how far to put the units. But, you need to get stuff working. All this stuff and targeting, really basic stuff. You just tweak it around. And then you got your audio source. Now, the thing about audio sources, audio listeners, not sources, is you can only have one in the scene. And then it gives you some stupid error thing. So, you gotta make sure when you got a camera and stuff, I'm just going to delete this one. I don't need it on that one anyway. It's just, I can delete this whole camera, but maybe I want a scene camera later. But, we got this weapon camera and we got depth only. This is the only thing that renders is the gun. And the arms or, your machine gun bullets that is coming out and all that good stuff. But that's the only thing that actually renders in the scene with this camera. This camera is responsible for everything else. Right? And this GUI layer, you have to have it to be able to render like on GUI, anything dealing with the GUI system. I don't think the new UI system is tied into that, but I'm not too sure. So you're going to have to research it a little bit. But it really doesn't do anything besides that. So I never delete it just because it's just there. Don't matter. But yeah, that's pretty much the setup for this part anyway. Now, this weapon camera, see when I shut this off, it disappears. That's his job. So, if you were doing some crazy, like, weapon manager, okay, like this one, is it on this? No, it's on this one. You're going to have a collection or a list of, like, all the transform stuff. Like, this is one weapon, this is another weapon. Now, we got this single one where it's a single game object. Notice that it's not in the array. Well, if I don't do that, it's not in this array. It's because this is the game object I want to point with messaging. This is the one where all my inputs are going to control this one. This is basically just for memory purposes. And to make sure that all these are shut off and the one that's in here doesn't. So you can basically force this gun is the only one that can be on. So let's say you do like a run out or